It
Okay,
is. How's
I would say that from the people who planned to connect, there is only Yusuf Leba who is missing, and everyone else is here. I would suggest that we basically start. Amanda, you have, let's say, some minutes to give this speech about Young Engineers Forum.
Okay. I'm hoping that everyone is able to make the new dates at the end of November. And if we are all planning to attend, hopefully look at the schedule and consider attending some technical committees as well. We would like for the Young Engineers Forum to be kind of the gateway into ICOLD as a whole. So if you're a little intimidated about joining a committee, there are committees for all kinds of different things. You know, if you're interested in embankment dams or concrete dams or earthquakes or the environment or even levees, there's different committees. Personally, I'm on the Dam Surveillance Committee. And when I started going, I went as an observer. I just walked in. They were very welcoming. I really enjoyed being there. After attending a few meetings, I was added to their roster officially as a co-opted member. And then when the official United States member retired, I was able to become the full member on the committee. Each country can only have one full member on the committee, but there is no limit on co-opted members. And when you first attend, just being an observer, just showing up to see what the committee's about, deciding if you like it, deciding if you want to take that next step, and helping with some of their projects and things like that. Most of the committees are very welcoming. If you're a bit intimidated about joining, try to find someone else within the Young Engineers Forum who has similar interests as you, and maybe you can go to the committee meeting together so that you at least know one friendly face when you get there. But the technical committees are where most of the work in ICOLD happens. So hopefully the Young Engineers Forum is a great place for them to start finding new members for all of those technical committees. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Amanda. Elias, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Then you're very welcome to take this virtual floor for update on ICOLD New Delhi meeting.
Perfect. I will give an overview regarding the New Delhi meeting that was postponed to later this year, November to December. We will have our normal meeting, the meeting of the ICOLD Young Engineers Forum during this conference. The meeting will take place on 3rd November, and we will have an additional activity on the day after, which will be the social evening. I think is a good opportunity to all of us be together. It's important to note that we will have 2 open positions on YF board. That's interesting for those who want to be part of the board, that they can send the candidature to be part of the board. I think from my side, it's all. Team, please, you can continue.
Well, now it's Mateja. Mateja, yeah, you're muted. Okay.
Yeah, I'm unmuted now, so I hope you can hear me. Okay. I will just say a few words about benchmark workshop in Ljubljana, and I will try to share my screen. Let me just figure it out how it's done. Share screen like this. It's disabled for me to share a screen by host. Tim, can you do anything about it?
Okay. Yeah, you are hosting this right now.
Okay, so now I can do it. Okay. share screen. So I will just say a few words about benchmark workshop that we will organize in 2021 in Ljubljana. I am a member of a committee A, that is Committee on the Computational Aspects of Dams. And every 2 years we are organizing a benchmark workshops where different tasks are being solved. So the following one will be in Ljubljana, as I said, in September 2021. Just a few words. I don't know if all of you are familiar with the concept of these benchmark workshops. The idea is that there are 3 teams that are formulated by formulators, and these teams are then solved by various participants. Usually we have 10 to 15 participants per team. There is one team always that regards embankment dams, and usually 2 of them that regard concrete dams. And also there is always one open team when various participants can decide what they want to present during the workshop. I really recommend being a part of these workshops, especially for the young engineers. It's very interesting because I basically have attended on 3 of them by now, and I learned a lot. So there is a lot of knowledge that is disseminated during these workshops. For the following one, we still don't have teams, but we will decide on them in the following 2 months, and they will be also published online. So we will be able to see what they are. It's a 3-day event, 2 days of workshops and 1 day of excursion. And also there is already one bulletin about the results of these workshops, and we are also working on another one which will be published in the next year or 2. And that's basically all. I'm just inviting you all to participate and stay tuned for more information in the following months.
Okay, thank you, Matea. Now it's Florian on update on ICOLD 2021 meeting.
Okay, thank you. I also will try to share my screen. If Tim, you can make it possible.
Okay, Matea, maybe you can stop sharing the screen. Okay.
How do I do that?
Okay, I will help you.
Okay, please do. Oh, pause, stop, found it.
Okay. Wait a second.
Do you see something? No.
Maybe if someone has any questions for Matea while I try to do the same, you could ask Matea.
If we come to your country, will you give us a personal guided tour, Matea?
I will do my best, just come. I love my country, so believe me, you will be taken care of.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, Florian, now you should be able to share the screen.
Okay. Maybe it's good. You see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Why? I have 2 screens.
We are a bit ahead of the schedule.
Okay. Okay.
You see? Okay. So I'm Florent Bacchus, and I'm working for the French administration into the hydraulic risk prevention department. And now I will speak about the 87th ICOLD Congress, which will take place in France from the 4th to the 11th of June, but 2021. So in 1 year, in Marseille, south of France, on the Riviera. For more touristic information, maybe you may visit the website with a 6 minutes video to motivate you to come for touristic reasons. For this Congress, in fact, there are 4 questions which will be analyzed by the ICOLD. The first one is concrete dam design, innovation and performance. The second one, incidents and accidents concerning dams. The third one,
Lauren, something has happened. We cannot hear you anymore.
Hmm.
I don't see him anymore either. Oh, there he is.
You too. Oh.
Florin, the thing is that right now is approximately the time when you were supposed to start. So you can start from the beginning, and I'll cut it off later.
Okay. So the 4, I would like to speak about the different features of dedicated to young professional and which are organized with my colleagues and of the French YP group. So just like Amanda said at the first, about technical committees, we will speak to technical representatives and national representatives in order they could invite a lot of young people like observers in their meeting. The second thing is the traditional YEF. We already choose the subject and the author of the keynote. The author will be a young retired with an international rock film mechanician, but he won't speak about dilatancy, and he will focus about architecture, and I hope it will please to you. Third, a dedicated technical young professional tour will take place to Malpasset Fellow Dam, and I hope with 1 or 2 dedicated buses which will take us on site. We will visit the entire place. In fact, older members won't be authorized to visit the place in detail. So it's we get a lot of luck, like young professionals, and the French young professional group hope we will be able to propose you a visit as pleasant and as technically specialized. And during this trip, because maybe it's about 1 hour and a half of the bus, it will be easy to create links between the different young professional community. And fourth, just like in other congress and annual meeting, there will take place a dedicated social evening on the rooftop of the Congress Palace of Marseille. And we also tried to organize other funny activities for all young people. So to sum up, we are motivated to propose to young professionals an interesting event and a little more than a week of technical lecture. So please come to Marseille. So if you
Okay,
have questions.
thank you, Florent. Also, Raymond Ariho has connected. And the next one is Hiroki. Hiroki, please take this virtual floor for the typhoon in Japan in 2019. Sorry.
Okay, so would you give me the screen sharing?
Okay.
Right?
Yes, not yet, but now, yes.
Okay. Oh. Ah. Okay, it said that I need to set up something security. So I will explain without the screen. But last October, big typhoon hit Japan, and the big area has been damaged, and there was
Hiroki, excuse me. In fact, we still have like 3-4 minutes before you were supposed to start. So I think
yes.
it would be really nice if you could try to share the screen to show the imagery and so on. Maybe just try to let's say check again what could be the problem.
Yeah, it's maybe the problem of my machine, my PC. I have to maybe set up some this security to show up my screen on the Zoom. So I think I this and yeah, and it's saying that I have to restart the Zoom application. So yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I have some...
If you want, you can send this by email, the presentation, and some of us could share it while you are.
But yeah, the problem is that this report is totally written in Japanese, so maybe you can understand. So, but it said that 34 dams used more than 60% of the capacity of the flood control, and 120 dams used less than 60%, but its big amount of dams used its flood control capacity, and some of them operated in emergency operating mode. It's too much incoming water, so some dams cannot control the discharging, so it's the same amount of the income to discharge. So it's kind of the dangerous operation for the downstream, but it's the effect of climate change. Such kind of the big typhoon is hitting Japan these years, so it's some new approach is discussed. It's going discussion. For example, we have many multi-purpose dams, and multi-purpose dam is the capacity is a part is for the flood control, and the other part is for the water resource or the power plant and like that. And that's the capacity is related in the expense when it's built, but we are trying to discussion to re-rating of the capacity and make it more extend the function for the flood control for the many dams, but it's owned for the central government. Some is the local government and like that. So it's not easy to do all of our dams, but we are like such kind of the approach is discussed. That's all from me.
All right, Julia, you have plenty of time to speak on ITCOLD coordination and monitoring systems and seismicity, and you have approximately 15 minutes.
Okay, I will try to to explain as much as possible. But maybe I have to be authorized to share the screen.
Okay, we will do that. We just need to take this role away from Hiroki now. Okay. Now you should be able.
Okay. Well, today I would like to explain to you one of the main, activities of the ITCOLD group. This is, the working group. The working group, and we have two working group in Italy. That are composed by EF member. In particular, one it is the one coordinated by me, and all the group is composed by EF member, except for one senior supervisor. And we deal with the behavior of dams under seismic events, not in Italy but in the world. We would like to analyze the real behavior of the structures undergoing real seismic events. So we put attention not on the numerical simulation or so on, but on the real behavior of the structure. And we would like to put in relation the image or the absence of the image with the characteristic of the seismic event, or mostly we would like to, create some index in order to relate the characteristic of the seismic events to the level of the image. As you know, in Italy we recently changed our regulation, so we would like to create a correlation in which these index are related to the image level that our regulation take into account. This group started last year, and at the moment we are collecting data. So each of us are reading and searching information on dams that have been, interested by seismic events. Okay, and we are, compiling some, summary sheets like the one that I show in this slide. And we try to be as really really short in the description of the structure and of the image in order to create this index that I said before. Well, this is the activities and the objective of this group. Then there is another group, another working group, in Italy, coordinated by Armando Lanzi. He is a EF member of the Italian group, and his working group is composed not only by young member but also by senior. Otherwise, they deal with the dynamic monitoring system of dams, and in particular, they are trying to analyze the dynamic monitoring of dams in Italy mostly. And they organized also some meeting, really interesting, because of I had part of these meetings, and I can say that they have been really interesting, because of they tried to put in correlation the dynamic information that they acquired by the monitoring system of some dams, like for example the ones in the Abruzzo region that has been interested by a seismic recently by a seismic events, and they try to acquire the information on the structure, and this is useful mostly for the for the manager of this structure. So it's really interesting to also to project a new dynamic monitoring system. I finished this short description of these groups. I don't know if I have more time.
You have about 5 minutes.
Okay. So what can I say? So I can say that we are, our meeting, for the group of coordinated by me, we are, our meetings are every month, more or less. And we produce, for example, these sheets like that reports, name, country, the characteristics of the dams, the absence or not of the damage, the characteristics of the seismic events, and so on. So we would like we divide the Earth Dam and the Amazon dams. So we try to put in correlation not only the characteristics of the dam, but also the characteristics of the seismic events. So we try to keep out general conclusion, general and not general conclusion by this interpretation of the data, because of, for example, the general behavior of a dam under seismic events could be one, but if you take into account, for example, local behavior of some specific, for example, characteristics of the construction, you can derive a particular behavior of the structure under these seismic events. It's really interesting to analyze this structure. Otherwise, for example, in a lot of cases are not available the data about the characteristics of the seismic events. So mostly it's really difficult to have the PGA or the real acceleration on the dam. So we try to find some conclusion.
Okay. Does anyone have any question for any of the presenters? There is a question. Maybe, John, you can ask yourself. Just I wanted to collect all the questions so that we understand if we have time to ask them.
Okay, well, Julia, do you have a time when you are going to publish this work? Does this committee of yours, of coordination committee, have also a similar to the ICOLD committees, sort of brief for a certain number of years, or how does it work?
Well, we start last year, and this working group not have a specific duration. I mean, because of each member do another work. So we in my group we are 8 people. So the time it's difficult to establish a duration of the working group, because of for example 1 month we are in for the month after there are the other 4, and we go on in this way. So we try to produce, but it's not so simple. We try to close the working group in I hope 3 or 4 years.
Thank you.
Any more questions for anyone? Guys, we have about 2 minutes left.
Mateja?
Yeah.
There is any specific task for the benchmark, or is a general numerical analysis for any type of problem on dams?
You mean if there is a general task?
Yes.
No, not a general task, but there is some continuation on some tasks, not specifically every year, but in a few years there are some tasks that are continuation of previous ones. It depends on what we learn and so on. But generally, I cannot say that there is a general case. It's always a new type.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, guys, let's do the following. In case it all shuts down, we say bye-bye to each other, and then we can continue going until it is on. So I was very happy to see you guys. Thank you very much for joining. If anyone wants to say something, go ahead.